So, if your life has recently been turned upside down, could be by losing a partner, could be a separation or divorce, it could be leaving a career or changing positions within an organization that you're working, or perhaps retiring into something that just doesn't quite feel right to you. You might be really wondering, where do I go from here? Where do I even start? So, in this episode, I want to give you a simple place to start when everything feels really uncertain. Hi, I'm Kathy Mangan, and this is the next chapter here on Laying Groundwork Coaching for Life's Transitions. On this channel, we focus on finding clarity, purpose, and direction after life's major changes. So, here's what I want you to know. Right now, you do not need to have your entire future figured out. You need something more foundationally steady than that at this point. So let's start there, shall we? Let's just start by making things a little bit more firm and a little bit more solid under your feet. So it's natural, of course, to feel really disrupted when there has been any kind of life transition at all. So when you recognize that these transitions shake up the structures that we many times use to define ourselves. So, a lot of times we define ourselves by our roles in relationships, our roles in work, our routines, all of those things are really anchors to who we many times believe that we are, what our identity is. And so when those disappear, it is completely natural and normal to experience confusion, exhaustion, grief, anger, and even feeling really, really numb. And I'm going to suggest that you not say to yourself, it is not helpful at this point to be thinking, I should be handling this better. Because actually, what is going on is it's really a shakeup of a map of your life that doesn't apply anymore. And, anyone would feel lost. So that is completely normal. I think that it's also important to recognize that although whatever this experience is for you is a loss, it is also potentially a threshold. So this ability to step into from where you were to who you are becoming. And although it's really normal to feel like you really want to rush into this whatever is next for you, please recognize that just because the situation is uncomfortable doesn't mean there isn't some value in really recognizing and getting really clear on where you are and where you want to go, moving into that next chapter with clarity rather than from fear. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to really stabilize and really listen to ourselves and tap into our inner wisdom. So that's where we're going to begin. So, I want to share with you a practice that might help begin that process of really tapping in to your own inner wisdom. So, what I want you to do is I want you to first of all grab something to write on and something to write with. Okay, so have that at the ready because you may get some really interesting insight as a result of this practice that you might want to write down. Okay. So we're going to begin by placing a hand over your chest, over your heart, whatever is comfortable to you. And we're going to take 3 complete breaths and we're going to do it slowly and deliberately. So both feet on the floor, nice long spine, open chest, and take a nice breath in. Nice extended breath out. A breath in, a breath out. And then last time, breath in and a breath out. So now that you feel perhaps a little bit more grounded, a little bit more centered, a little bit more present, ask yourself from this space, what is the most alive in me right now? What am I grieving? What am I afraid of? So as you sit with these questions, write one sentence in response to each of them. We're not trying to fix anything here. We're just noticing and we're just being a witness to our own thoughts. What is the most alive in me right now? What am I grieving? What am I afraid of? If you need some more time, please hit pause on this video and I'll see you on the other side. It's important to recognize at this stage, and part of the reason that this kind of practice can be so helpful is that clarity just doesn't come from forcing answers. It really comes through creating enough inner quiet that you can actually hear your own inner wisdom, maybe for the first time and maybe reclaiming it again. Maybe this is something that you haven't done for a while. Okay. So it's this whole idea of this practice being able to perhaps establish for the first time or reestablish this connection. It is important to recognize at this stage that this is maybe not the chapter that you chose, this next one that's coming. And it may also at the same time be the one that finally brings you home to yourself. So in this series, the next chapter, we're going to talk about grief. We're going to talk about identity. We're going to talk about reinvention. And we're going to talk about how to design a life that feels meaningful again. So if you are walking through a major life transition, I invite you to subscribe and join me each week for the next chapter. Thanks a lot and take good care.